So there's a story that has happened in the last 24 hours that involves the well-known singer and performer Lizzo. And we're going to get into that story today because I think it highlights something really important as it relates to mental health and psychology. Before we do that, I want to reintroduce myself in case this is your first time watching one of my videos. My name is Elliott Connie. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and in this series I talk about the psychology and the mental health aspects behind each and every story. And Lizzo finds herself in the middle of a lawsuit where 3 former dancers that she has hired are making accusations about her. Let's have a listen.
Lizzo told Today she was looking for dancers who matched that message.
I finally had the platform to do an open call audition for girls who look like me.
But in a new lawsuit filed by 3 former dancers, Lizzo was accused of weight shaming. One of the dancers, Ariana Davis, says Lizzo called attention to her weight gain with thinly veiled concerns, though she never explicitly stated it.
So these 3 former dancers, they're making allegations about, as you just heard, weight gain, sexual inappropriateness. There were sexual acts happening on a stage during a performance, and they were all encouraged to touch the people on the stage who were doing these sexual acts, and they said no and they didn't want to, and made them uncomfortable, and they were forced to do so. They also alleged that Lizzo's top choreographer forced her religion upon them, and now they're suing. So before I say anything else, I do want to say that Lizzo herself is denying these claims, and she put out a social media post. It starts off by saying, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing." And just like anything else, you are innocent until proven guilty in this system, and that applies to Lizzo as well. But what I do want to talk about is how corrupting power can be. In the past few years, there have been lots of stories and accusations of really powerful people having super toxic work environments. I think one of the most well-known examples of this is Ellen DeGeneres. And the Ellen DeGeneres show apparently was a really toxic and abusive place to work. Those allegations became so serious and involved so much stuff that the show ended up no longer continuing, in large part due to these allegations. And it makes me think about just the impact of power. And a lot of times when people achieve power, and I mean just by fame and fortune, it changes the way they communicate, but also it changes the way people hear you. Like one of these accusations, as you just heard, was this woman saying Lizzo did not explicitly state that my weight had become an issue, but she just said things that made me believe that. I think sometimes people in power don't understand that their words carry meaning and weight that they didn't carry before you had fame and fortune. You have to be careful how you talk to people because it is different now. Let me use an example that everyone would be familiar with in terms of power. Let's say I'm in the 8th grade and one of my teachers who has power over me because they grade my work and determine what kind of grade I will get in their class. If the teacher says, "Elliot, I'd like you to stay after class," there is a power differential that there's an unstated, like, and if you don't follow my instruction, there could be consequences for you that you would not enjoy that might have a negative impact on your grade. So the teacher has to be aware, if I say things like, "Elliot, will you stay after class?" that the power differential doesn't give me the freedom to say no without consequence. And I hear that differently versus if one of my peers says, "Elliot, will you stay after class?" I'm like, "No, I don't feel like staying after class. I'm gonna go on to my next thing." I think sometimes people don't understand that. So Lizzo very well might have just made a off-the-cuff comment about this dancer gaining weight, but not realizing your words are now different because now you are the world-famous Lizzo employing these people. And I think we have to be aware of that shift. And then also, to make it even more kind of serious, I think people also begin to fundamentally enjoy having power and thus use it to abuse, thus use it to get what they want, thus use it to make people uncomfortable. Like, I have been in the LA entertainment world for the past couple of years, and I can say I have witnessed people that have been really famous and really successful for a really long time, and you just get used to the world attending to your needs differently than it attends to others. And it's not that difficult to get used to that and enjoy that, and then all of a sudden treat everybody as if They're like pawns in your world as opposed to living, breathing human beings with emotions and feelings and values. I think it's a hard thing to manage when you have that much power and influence and you've had it for a really long time. So I don't know whether or not Lizzo did these things, and I am inclined whenever there's an accusation like this to believe the accuser, or certainly believe that the accuser is credible in what they are saying. And I'm also aware that Lizzo has every right to defend herself, both publicly and in the legal system before she is found guilty or anything else. But when I heard this story, that's the first thing I thought of, is some of the celebrities that I've been spending my time around in the past couple of years and seeing how the system kind of facilitates power. And sometimes the celebrity forgets the influence of their words, and in other times, you just kind of start enjoying the influence that you have. And that's a very thin line between that and abuse. So as I see this story, that's the part I wanted to point out to you guys, and make sure that you're aware that when you acquire power, make sure you continue to be respectful. One of the coolest things I ever saw is I did a television project with Charlemagne the God, and he walked into the TV set, and there were about 30 people there, lights people, sound people, camera people, and he walked around the room and introduced himself to every single one of them. And as my own celebrity grows, I watched that and I thought, that's someone who gets it, who understands how to treat people. As I grow in this place, I want to remember that lesson and be that type of person too. So stay being a good person, regardless how much power you accrue, and understand your words have meaning. So thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe, share, like this video. I'd love to have you in my YouTube community. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified every time I release one of these videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.